In this video, we're going to find out how to find the equation of a perpendicular bisector. So it's a several-step process, so we're going to go through it one step at a time. So in this case, I have point A, which is at -2, -3. That's point A. And point B, which is at 6, -1. And there's a segment formed by that, so I'm just going to sketch this a little bit. And I want to find the perpendicular bisector of AB. So remember, a bisector is something that cuts a segment into two equal parts, and if it's perpendicular, it cuts that segment at a 90-degree angle. So naturally, we're trying to find a bisector. The first step is to figure out where this line is going to pass through. So we have to find the midpoint of these 2 points. And if you remember back before, we've done this. So we're trying to find the midpoint of, first, the x-coordinate, so -2 and 6. So what number is exactly in the middle? One way to do this is to add them up and divide by 2. That's taking the average. So 6 plus -2 is 4, divided by 2 is 2. And we just do a quick check, is 2 exactly in the middle of -2 and 6? Well, it's 4 away from -2 and it's 4 away from 6, so yes it is. So the x-coordinate, the midpoint of the x-coordinate is 2. Now what is the midpoint of -3 and 1? So -3 plus -1 is -4, divided by 2 is -2. Is -2 exactly in the middle of -3 and -1? Yes, it's 1 away from each. So the midpoint is 2, -2. So that's a good way to start, and let's just graph that. So I didn't draw this perfectly. That would be the midpoint there. So I want to find what line passes through that point and is perpendicular to this segment. So we learned earlier that we know how to find the slope of a line that is perpendicular to another line, but what we haven't yet established is what is the slope of this first segment. So remember, slope is change in y over change in x. So what is the slope of this first line? So this slope, it has a rise. It goes from -3 to -1. So its rise is 2. And it goes from -2 to 6, so it has a run of 8. So the slope of the original line is 1/4. So remember, a line that is perpendicular to a line has a slope that is the negative reciprocal. So that means that the slope of this line is 1/4. The slope of the perpendicular line is 4 over 1, but negative, or -4. So the slope of the perpendicular bisector is going to be -4. So that's a really good starting point. So far our equation, we know equation is y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope. So far the equation of our perpendicular bisector is -4x plus b. So all we're missing is this b value. What is the y-intercept? If we get that, then we'll have the equation. So one thing I know is, okay, the only point I know that exists on the bisector is this midpoint, 2, -2. So I'm going to take these coordinates and plug into what I have built for my equation to solve for b. So the y value is -2. And the x value is 2, so -4 times 2 plus b. So now I'm going to try to figure this out. So -2 equals -8 plus b. I'll add 8 to each side, and I'll get b equals 6. So that means that the perpendicular bisector should be -4x plus 6. And let's just confirm that. I can sketch this. I want to sketch a slope of -4. So that means every one I go over, I go down 4. So that would be this point. And if I go the other way, it means that if I go back 1, I'll go up 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4 here, back 1, up 4 here. And so look at this. Its y-intercept is 6, as we expect, and it has a slope of -4, and this is perpendicular. So that is the perpendicular bisector. Again, there's a lot of steps. You just got to kind of sort out the process, do a lot of practice with it. But that is how you find the perpendicular bisector of a segment. So until next time, I am Derek Genova. Have a delightful day.